Welcome to Inside the Barrel, where John and I talk about some of these deep topics behind the scenes, consulting life, trying to solve the problems that you'll see on your instance. And today we have a really fun one, specifically on Rome, because Rome was released like 3 days ago. And so everybody is like trying to go and figure it out as quickly as possible. And so today, John is, this portal expert guy. So we thought we would take a stab at the new employee center, which is ServiceNow is really trying to have this multi-department service delivery experience. So in the past, you would have your IT portal, you would have your HR portal, you'd have like a CSM portal, and ServiceNow is really trying to make it a seamless one-stop shop that allows you to, switch between things. So sound fun to you, John?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's dig in there. That'll be fun.
Yeah, let's do it as I share my screen. This guy. Cool. So the first thing I wanted to bring up actually was the release notes. And the reason for that is that's kind of like where you start before you go and jump into something. And so I kind of wanted to start us off there, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
So kind of the first one that I kind of look at when I'm on this page. So I got to this page, I pretty much just typed in, employee center release notes, and it is installed by default on new instances, which I think is, for new customers, it's installed by default. If for existing ones, you will need to install it as a store application. So kind of keep that in mind. And essentially, this is the release notes. There's two packages. There is the Employee Center and then Employee Center Pro. So we're probably not going to go into Pro today and just focus on the Employee Center, because for Pro, I'm assuming you'll need some sort of HR-like license, which is totally okay. So highlights are up here. I kind of jump into, let's just go into upgrading. So the first thing I notice is like, hey, if you already have a portal or you already have service portal, here's a migration URL. So we're definitely gonna have to check that out. And the other thing is they're switching scope. So maybe, in your drop down of your scope picker, you're gonna have to look into that. And if you are going pro, just install it separately. We're gonna try to tackle all of these things, John. We'll see how far we get.
Yeah. That'll be fun to start with it, anyways. Look at that enhanced homepage.
Yeah, and then some changes are also kind of important to know. None of these stick out to me so much, but it looks like how you create to-dos, or when you click on to-dos, they go somewhere else now, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. We a project I was just on recently, we put a to-do slider in, right, a carousel, and we had built the functionality to deal with approvals would take you outside of that homepage. You'd end up clicking on it and go to another page, because it was difficult to get all the components of the approval into the, right there. It would, under normal circumstances, your to-dos would just open up below, just drop down below and show your to-do. And so the approvals were taken outside. But it's interesting to see that they're kind of doing that same, they're approaching it the same way, where you're going somewhere else automatically from the to-do list. And I thought that's originally in the old HR portal, it was like a two-piece left and right side. You'd have your list of to-dos, you'd click on one and it'd open up in this little panel here.
Yeah.
And I wonder what the reasoning behind that is, because to me it seems like it's extra steps to get to your work, versus having your work right there in one place. So I'd be interested in knowing what their thought process was there.
Yeah, and it looks like, even they're changing how you personalize banner and announcements, like a variable approach, which is interesting. So maybe we'll figure out how they actually modify that.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so that's kind of the first thing. The second one is let's dive into the migration, because that's probably the most common one, right?
Yeah.
And so what's nice is I got an instance set up that was originally on Quebec, and then from there I upgraded it to Rome, and I haven't installed this application yet.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
so we can try to actually go through what someone would normally go through.
Yeah, because
Um,
I'm betting there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to do the exact same thing. They're going to go from Quebec to Rome. I mean, obviously they're going to go from Quebec to Rome, but they're going to be interested in seeing all those pieces that they're going to have to go through to get to this new Employee Center non-pro version.
yeah, yeah. So let's kind of I'll start like us off at the portal. So for people that are aware, like it'll start from here, like it'll be modifying the ESC portal. So it will not be modifying the SP portal out of the box. So didn't have this one ready, but so if we went to SP, and again, I haven't installed the actual uh, version yet, you'll notice that this popped
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
And I didn't check if this pops up for end users or ITIL users as well. Let's go quickly check that. Let's go impersonate our best friend Abe.
Able Tutor.
Let's see, does he see that banner? No, cool. So no impact to end users. Awesome.
Okay, nice.
And then let's go back to our HR admin. And this HR admin I did give admin access to, because it also had the HR admin role. It was just easier that way. So let's go back to our portal screen.
And maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but with what you just said with the HR piece, there was always that fun startup at the beginning where you'd have to give everyone that wanted to get into the HR portal, you'd have to give them admin and all that stuff. Is there anything around this new scope, employee, what was it called? Employee service
Core.
scope, core? Is there going to be any trouble that way too, where things are segregated via different accounts?
That's a good question. I did notice there were some people that weren't able to see this record when I first got this set up. And so that's why I was using the HR admin. It doesn't look like that applies here as well, but it is something to consider. Is there's like, if I click on this outside of that scope, it's going to tell me that it's now in that scope that I should change to it.
Okay.
So something to kind of keep in mind. But for now, just in case we run into other things, I'm gonna impersonate the HR admin.
Ease of use, I understand.
Yeah. And normally your admins, if they're also managing HR, would have this the HR admin role.
Well,
So
yeah. See, that's the other piece. Is there were times where HR gets kind of skittish about allowing admins into having too many abilities within HR because there is sensitive data in there.
You're right. Let's just do it all.
Funnily enough, though, I worked for a company that decided there was no, what's it called? No, I can't even think of the name now. Anyways, outside of like pay scales or people's pay rates, there was no sacred data basically within the system, and so they didn't have a problem with that, other than a few specific pieces of data. But I know a lot of companies don't do it that way.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So just kind of going to this record, let's also let me show an experience on the ESC one so we can solve all world problems on how this. So this is the beautiful one, old looking one. Beautiful is debatable.
The plain Jane version.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And so we could go to knowledge, and there's some demo data here. We could go to catalog.
Oh, speaking of knowledge, did they incorporate the new knowledge stuff into the new ESC? Do you know if they did that?
If there is new knowledge stuff, that sounds
well.
maybe.
So there's a knowledge home, like a new knowledge homepage that's prettier than the one you just showed. But I think you have to have the knowledge app installed or
so
whatever it is.
You're thinking this KB page is gonna be different.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's going to be that homepage incorporated into ESC, because it's such a it's a much better experience.
We'll pin it. We'll check it because we're going to install the plugin.
Sweet.
So back to ESC. So I think I have a few different tabs here. So let's get that. So a couple things that we want to look at. So I have the portal here in case when we upgrade, we want to compare. I have the to-do page. So we should maybe figure out how to create a to-do real quick to see the differences.
Yeah, that's that layout I was talking about, the left and main panel there where you get your list and then it opens up in there.
Then we have a my request page. We have the knowledge base page. We have this catalog page that doesn't want to load for us. Let's try again. There we go.
Here's a pro tidbit on catalog. When you just reminded me of it with that slow load.
Mm-hmm.
We found an issue on a project we were working on with a slow load for portal or for catalog objects, and it turned out it roots in the lookup. What is it called? Lookup something box.
Select box. The lookup select box.
Yeah, lookup select box. If you have those on your catalog item, it can tremendously slow down the load. So if you're using, and this is going to get a little technical, but in the background, if you're using the sp.get catalog item function, it pulls all that data, and that lookup, I don't know why it's so slow, but that thing specifically is slow, and there's a KB out there on it that says you really should try to use like a reference field selector or something else, because how performance heavy that lookup box is. And so just as a FYI, if you're pulling a custom catalog page and you notice certain catalog items are slow, or your page is slow because it's pulling that item in, go check out your lookup select boxes and see if it's got, or see if your catalog item's got one of those on there, and try to change it, because it will really speed it up.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so that's catalog. We have the my org chart just to see if that changes. And then I even have the pages back here so that like we can compare, what the widgets or the columns look like differently.
Nice.
Cool. So I tried to like save as many of the things. And then the other thing I did is I upgraded, right? So I upgraded Jerome. It took about an hour. Only 27,000 changes applied.
Only.
Yeah. There were some skip logs. So what I did is I previewed, and it was interesting. It previewed only said it was going to have 25, but when I did the upgrade, it actually had 100, or it had 52 or so. This is the plugin we're going to install in a second. So yeah.
I hope that plugin doesn't take too long.
I don't think it does, if I recall.
Okay.
Perfect. So we're going to go ahead. I think we've saved enough things to kind of compare against that we don't have to like click around.
Sure.
What we should just do is create a to-do. To-do. What's the quickest way to create a to-do? Do you know?
No, I can't think of it off the top of my head.
What is where's our HR?
It's usually, go do an HR service thing.
Yeah, interesting. Open
you do
tasks. maybe it's these open tasks. Oh, but
Well, I was
don't
going to
think
say,
can
if you
just-
go back up to HR services and just, can you create a new case?
Yeah, let's see if this will be the bread and
I
because I
think,
know those tasks get generated from like
put it for Able
able.
and then
Oh, well, we're
assign
gonna
it
put
to
it for the
you.
system admin.
Well, but if
You're
you,
gotcha. Yeah, I know what you're talking
I
about.
mean, it would work either way, but really you
Yeah,
want it for someone else, and then you assign it to yourself. And
look at that. Create case. He needs help. Oh, but he had a bunch of cases. Oh, that's but I need to assign it.
yeah, but
Good.
they're not assigned to you.
Yeah.
See how
Gosh,
they're
they're
all
assigned
assigned
to
to
Terrence. Get out of here, Terrence. All right, so that case is taking forever. Maybe while I wait, I can just try to reassign this. Oh, there we
you
go.
could try it.
There we go.
And then
Assign
just assign it to you.
to system.
Oh, you may not.
Because I'm not in that tier 1 group.
Yeah.
Let's
So
go
erase
add.
that. You might. I wonder if you can do it backwards. If you remove HR tier 1 and then put.
Yeah, there we go. Save. And let's say ready for work. Maybe that's probably useful. Okay.
And then just check your to-dos and see if you see it over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start work just in case. You think?
Yeah. It shouldn't matter. I mean, it should. If it's assigned to you, it should show up as a to-do. But
yeah. So okay. So now let's check that to-do list of my million tabs.
I hope your browser doesn't crash.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be terrible. Okay, so they're not here. There's got to be something else that generates it. We're just gonna change all of these.
Trying to remember what kicks off that to-do, but
yeah, it's been a while.
Not, I wonder if it's the task, not the case itself, because you don't generally work the case is the parent, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's a task under it. Maybe, I don't know.
And I guess what we could try to do is impersonate Able. Maybe Able has the to-do task. I doubt it, but
well, if they're specific for him to complete a something on it, then he would have some to-dos. And since it looked like a lot of them were his, I mean, there's a lot for him, he may show something.
What if we add a task to this thing? To do. Oh, I should have assigned it.
No, it'll pick up from the case.
Oh.
You see how it says parent case users and it has assigned to? I think it pulls in.
Oh, just in case. Or there was assigned to me. There we go. All right. So now let's check that to do. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right. So this is what it looks like when it's clicked. I guess we'll have a few pages for this. Oh, I gotta pin this.
Yeah, there may not actually. I don't know what you may not have picked one that or put in. I think you had to pick a template or whatever to generate the actual stuff to do. Because I don't know there's actually anything to do for you to do on it. But yeah, general ideas. You get your list of to-dos there on the left, and they open up on the right.
Got it.
And you do your stuff there. And see, to me, this is that's an efficient way to handle it because you're right there. You don't have to go to other pages and lose yourself. But so I'm curious on why they thought that was the better route, is to open things in a new page. But
well, we're gonna see. So we're gonna update this, and so what it wants you to do is create a taxonomy. So we're gonna have to figure that out.
A unified one. So does that mean same categories for both?
Yeah, it's a good question. We're gonna need to add banners, which we could skip. Ensure all request types are in the my request filter. We're gonna need to configure task to do configurations.
You know, to do so I just ran into to do configurations this weekend.
Yeah.
And so I have some questions in my head about those because I was trying to figure out a problem and it just wasn't making a lot of sense, or how you could use the to-do configuration specifically for certain areas. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of questions around those. If we get into it, maybe we'll have to do a show about those, because
so it's interesting. They're essentially saying if you are using ESC and you have configured it, you should change the existing portal URL.
Oh, because it's going to override everything.
Because it's going to override. Also, if you built any custom pages, right, use route maps. And if any new page doesn't have an old experience, use route maps.
Interesting.
So this could be a lot of work. These are 2 bullets that could be a lot of work. And then I think most of these other ones are probably.
Well, yeah, and it really depends on how many custom pages you have built out on that one point.
Yeah.
But so it's interesting, that they want you to rename it.
Yeah. So let's dive into. I didn't rename it, by the way. So well.
Well, but it tells you to do that after you upgrade. So I wonder if it how that works.
I think this is before.
Oh, honestly. Before.
Yeah. Ooh. Which is okay. Yeah, that's interesting. But I think what's the real thing is this portal record. We're going to be able to see. It's almost done. Where did I put my portal record?
Well, so
this is probably.
Record, yeah. Well, that's the page. Yeah.
That's that one. Home page. Did I not have a portal record? Oh no. Portals. Oh, that's not gonna load. Did I really use that portal record already? Dang. I was gonna check to see.
Go back one. Right there. Wasn't that it?
This is the home page.
No, the one before that one.
No.
Where you had CSS variables. That one. Oh, that's the theme.
That's the theme, yeah. Oh well. Dang, I was so close to trying to get it all in one. All right.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to check, and it's probably done. Oh, it's not done yet. Nice. Maybe I can get to it in time. Without.
Maybe.
Oh, okay, cool. So we're here. So yeah, I'm curious to normally it's like you should rename this, right? But I'm curious if any of these will turn blue. I doubt it because these all look the same. These haven't been changed. So the other thing that is changing, notice here, there's no more HR. Oh yeah, so the service portal one used to be here, right? You can't see this information.
No. I was gonna say, what are you clicking on?
I was like, in the picker, there used to be a HR service portal, and it's now not called. It's not there anymore. It's called Employee Center.
So they renamed that scope?
Yeah, they renamed that scope.
So all the old stuff that was assigned to that scope
is in this new scope now.
Is in that new scope? Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think we're probably close to 96.
So
yeah, it's not terrible. And we could even dive into the actual changes that this will do when that finishes. Did you do anything fun this weekend?
I was on call on Saturday, and then I actually had to work yesterday.
Oh no!
Well,
That's
it
terrible.
was the huge project
Yeah.
that's been occupying my life for months. They
Mhm.
finally went live over the weekend, so that's why I was on call on Saturday. And that went pretty smooth. Everything got transferred over. I think somebody was saying there was like 300 update sets, and those are all batched. So there
Wow.
was probably more. Um,
Wow.
yeah, but
Gnarly.
well, I've been on a project that was like 600 update sets, not batched.
Yeah. Well, I
That
guess
one was,
the 300 update sets were they batched under one update set to move it all,
oh, I don't
or
know.
was there
I didn't have
order?
to be part of the transfer or the move.
Yeah.
So Saturday went fine. There was no calls. And then Sunday, I get an email message that one little component it boiled down to a filter was done
Mhm.
incorrectly. So I just jumped on real quick and fixed that filter. But sounds like they are golden right now. And so that's a big, wipe a sweat off the forehead. Everything's working real well. And
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a phase 2 coming sooner or later.
Awesome. So our plugin installed.
Nice.
And for people that are unaware, and
What
whoa,
happened? Where'd the homepage go?
no, interesting. I probably that was so it's interesting that those are the three things that changed though, right? Like it didn't, I don't know if that intentionally changed or not, but if you go to system upgrades, or sorry, upgrade history, open that a new tab just to kind of show if we take that away. So notice that our patch was here. So this is our upgrade. And then these are the scopes that essentially changed. So they renamed these. This is the employee service core. This is the pro. And this was that SNHRSP module that used to be HR service portal, and it's now employee center. So you could dive into these specifically. These were 8 changes, what changes were applied. So you can kind of look and see some fixed script, some script include. Let's look at another one. This one looked like it had a bunch of them. There's like 60 changes here. So this looks like most of the changes that we're expecting to see.
Yeah.
So it looks like taxonomy related things, and so just more of an FYI, when someone installs a plugin, they can kind of go to the screen to kind of check out what actually was done. And so I don't think anything, this was the pro one, or employee center. This was the employee center. This was the bulk of them. There's 500
Ooh,
changes
did
there.
you see org chart was on there? Oh man, I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what they changed on org chart.
Yeah. So if we went to, and that's why I wanted to open up those. This looks like that menu item though
Oh,
for it, but maybe they
well,
changed it. So
yeah,
we'll see.
maybe.
So we'll dive into, keep those pages. Sorry for a million tabs that I had. So
So yeah, it is interesting that they wiped out the
so let's
homepage
let's
and
refresh this and see what happens. Because it could just be a UI related bug.
maybe, I hope so, because I'd be like, wait, where did my homepage go?
Yeah.
We're all like biting nails. So it doesn't replace it? Really?
Oh
Oh, you
no.
know what that means? It goes to the index or isn't there a default one? But it did give you a
Well,
main
it,
menu and a theme though.
so
Interesting.
these changed, right? So that was interesting. And then this record looks like it's broken.
Oh, click the magnifying glass.
It says no preview, right?
Yeah,
So,
click the magnifying glass though next to it.
oh,
Yeah. Let's see if there's any new home pages that are listed. Oh, does it not even work?
hold on. Let me. Uh, I'm only sharing I gotta share the whole desktop.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It
Yeah, one
pops up a
second.
thing.
1 second. New share. Screen. This here. All right. There we go. And cool. We're back. So if I go to this magnifying glass, which ID do you think it is?
Put on. Well, I would have sorted it by new.
Well, we're gonna do that. Updated.
Yeah.
Just because I don't get those columns, right? Updated.
And do Z. No, you did the wrong way.
Oh, did I do it the wrong way?
You did A to Z. You went Z to A. Yeah, there you go.
So maybe this dashboard.
Yeah, I would guess. Well, yeah, because
this is the old one. This was the old one.
Yeah.
So, should we refresh the page to see what it looks like, or should we just put in EC dashboard first?
You know what? Let's refresh the actual homepage first and see what happens, because I'm curious if it's broken, like for real, or if it is broken just in that field or something weird.
So,
oh, nope.
Oh, gosh.
That one's broken. So put the actual one in and let's see if it works.
Yeah. Wow. Our migration is going so well so far.
Well, but I hope it actually does go well for people, because if this is indicative of it actually not working. Oh.
So we got some cross scope. And then we got a failing widget. Oh, we got some more cross scope. All right, things are going well.
Now the big question is that because we didn't do the steps that it said to do?
That is a good question. I mean,
because I wonder
we didn't really like. I mean, you bring up a good point, right?
Pro tip: follow the steps ahead of time.
Yeah, I have my concerns of.
Oh, can we Z-boot?
I mean, it's interesting because I didn't look at these and see that like I needed to do any of this, right? Like, sure, I probably should have renamed number 7. Probably is the safest bet I should have done.
Yeah.
But either way, that record was already in the right scope in theory.
Yeah, and honestly, it's widgets, right? It was a widget.
Yeah,
and what else was it?
Related.
Yeah.
So it was. Let's see. So we got a widget failing, and it looks like it's cross scope related. So I think if we have those scopes working, I think this is where we do it, right? It's been a while.
Cross scope privileges, maybe. Anything? What's the newest stuff in there?
Wait,
like, is there an actual record for it, or do we need to create a record?
So there was another place, the restricted caller. This one is the one I was thinking of. Man. Right, I think it's restricted call. So let me add up.
If anybody works on custom content delivery widgets, they know all about all restricted records.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, so these are the requested ones, right? So those are our errors. So let's go and
you need to read one. Oh, I guess they're all read, huh?
Oh gosh, do I have to go into all of them?
Yes, you do.
I can't do it.
So what I do is just click on here and do it that
way. Well, you should do it in
Don't tell anybody.
Set,
don't tell anybody that I do it that way. But
yeah,
these records are such a pain though when you start messing around with widgets in that scope, because and you incur the wrath of caller restricted records, because it's so annoying.
Yeah, but at least we found where it is, right? So after you upgrade, go to your restricted callers, right? Because you're gonna need to do. Oh, all right, this is like taking forever.
And then woe unto you when you modify them.
Oh my gosh, so slow. I also should have
Man.
installed SNUtils in this browser. I didn't.
Ooh,
Oh, I do
pro
have it.
tip.
Oh, I do have it.
Pro tip. Edge and Chrome have been updated recently, and now NG Inspect is working again. So
Awesome.
for you guys who used those extensions in the browsers, you can now get your scope data like you used to very handily with NG Inspect.
We're here, we're allowing it, and we're updating it. Okay, so we need to be in these scopes. Here, we're gonna do some SNUtils pop out of that bad boy.
Some fast switching.
Some fast switching. Just because I think changing scopes looks like it'll be faster. All right, so we need to.
And speaking of
documents.
SNUtils, did you see the latest update Arnu did?
No.
With background scripts. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you gotta show me.
It is awesome. Okay, when you're done here, go to background scripts.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like almost every time we do one of these, I can give a shout out to him because he's done something cool.
I hope it's gonna like be like very explore like. I'm excited because I use background scripts. Like, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited. This is my favorite one, by the way, of that I actually use most frequently is the picker. He changed to the picker. He changed to a search, so I could just type in the word. Right? So I showed that quickly, but if you went to utils and you go to settings, it's this enhanced one. Highly recommended.
So go back to settings again real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
And it'll partially give away what's going to come up on background script. So fourth checkbox down there on the left.
Oh my gosh.
That one right there.
Amazing. That sounds amazing.
And I'm glad he auto checked it like by default.
Yeah. Background. All right, folks. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Hit tab.
My gosh.
Hit tab when you do a new line. Or like it may actually auto tab for you, but look at that. Tabbing works.
No, I mean this is amazing. Look at that.
Right?
Like, holy crap.
Type ahead.
Dude, this is better than whatever we're showing right now. Okay. So let's try refreshing our employee center. So we had potentially a blank homepage. So that was the first one that we had to change. We had
a broken whatever relationship in there.
We had scope issues that you needed to go in restricted callers, but this looks pretty beautiful now. So, this is what the homepage looks like. This is what it used to look like, right? So there's your direct comparison there. Let's minimize that. Sorry, I'm trying to like clean up. All right, there we go. So compare old, and we'll go full screen.
But what do they say on Men in Black? Old and busted, new hotness.
Yeah. But I mean, even like the color scheme looks better. So let's jump into org chart.
Oh right? Yeah, that's like right there in your face. Let's do it. Let's look at that.
Okay, so this is
still the same.
Yeah, but
I was hoping they were going to change. They were going to change the technology behind it.
So this is using all portals, so no UI builder, if that's what you're referring to. So this is the old org chart, so it looks the same. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Oh well.
So what is IT for IT?
Is that knowledge?
This looks like requesting a knowledge.
Oh,
this is like the catalog. Yeah. So this
Did you see that? If you go back, look at the URL.
Interesting. So there's a specific page for it. So we'll go check that out in a second. Here is the new catalog experience, which kind of looks nice. They definitely have upgraded that. Okay. So one thing to note, it is very important when you do migration to have your taxonomy figured out, because if you look at our old catalog, We've lost all of this.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so let's just go to my tasks. So we do see this.
Oh my gosh, go back one. I'm sorry about this,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just realized that what they're doing. No, not that one. I'm sorry, the taxonomy thing, that homepage.
This one.
So this is funny because we did a project a while back for a large company that looked remarkably similar to that.
Beautiful.
But yeah, no, I think this is great. This is really much more interactive for people, and I think it's like I wonder what more you can do with those cards, if you will, down there in the browse IT. Like what's a bit like what kind of choice? Like, is there instance options on those?
Um, it's called topic content. Never right
Topic
into your
content,
page.
huh?
Well, that's cool.
Interesting. So they've renamed instance options to topics. Is that what you said? No,
No,
it's
no, I'm
the
saying
license.
the widget is called topic
Oh, I
content.
see. I see. Okay.
Yeah. And it looked like it was in employee core when I clicked this, right? So this scope.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what is this? This widget is subtopics. So there's some notion of subtopics, which just has an icon ability.
Very, very familiar.
Topic header. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that must be customizable. Let's see. And it's probably what's hopefully is, oh, this one is very customizable.
Oh yeah.
This is
Yeah. Yeah.
this is cool. It's interesting. There is
Okay.
let me change the scope so that we could actually see what's going on. Play center. Because that one looks interesting. So there's these list of topics, but they probably don't have things defined in them, so that's why they don't show. But I do like that they used a bunch of instance options here. It's so frustrating when they don't, because it's really painful for some admins to know where to go and change writing code.
Well, there was a time when they would have um, options within the widget, but no way to access them
Oh,
from.
interesting.
Yeah, so like if you couldn't the pop up there, the instance options didn't have those specific options that were available in the code. Like if you go look at the code, you'd see option type, as a very simple example, option title would be there, but it wouldn't be linked up to the instance options. But you couldn't, if you were hard coding a call to pull that widget in, like an embedded widget, you could pass that option, but you couldn't do it any other way.
Oh, interesting.
And I think they've retooled a number of them to close those problems or to fix them.
Yeah.
But there was a time early on when we'd have that kind of issue. And you're like, what's going on? I can't do the options I want.
So the next thing I see is this to do looks a little bit cleaner, right? Like notice this outline here is different, right? It's really taking up the white space. They
I'm not
have
sure
this.
I'm a fan of the green left though.
Oh yeah, that could be done in
That's
a theme, right?
well, sure, but it just seems like that's a little.
They missed
I don't
it.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ServiceNow. You missed this green. They also added that ask a question, so that's interesting, right? So this activity is here, which I think will look the same, but this ask a question. Hello.
I wonder though if that's just on by default and it's not on by default in the other one. I'm trying to remember if
I
I've
think
seen
it.
that before because I'm pretty sure I've had to hide that on occasion. So I
Oh,
wonder if
okay.
that's just not turned on the like or so chat shows up down there at the bottom corner. Does chat show up on the other one? Because I'm just wondering if it's not turned on the old. Yeah,
Oh,
see.
yeah, yeah.
So I think by default they have the chat turned on and you get that ask a question because of that. So
Gotcha. Okay. Well, so that's pretty much the to do.
I thought they were going to be the same, or I thought it was going to open differently.
Yeah, I thought so too. Under this release notes, right? Changed. Creating to-do content that appears in a banner. Oh, it's if it appears in a banner or styled.
Oh, because you can add a to-do link to an announcement.
Gotcha.
And it looks like you can,
Oh, and it
yeah,
brings them to the list
you can deep
instead of
link
the linked.
though. So that or email that takes users
Yeah.
directly to that user's to-do
So
list. Interesting.
it'll take them to the to-do list, and let's say they have 5. It'll focus on the one that it's
Yeah,
related to.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
nice. I like that.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea.
No, not at all.
Okay, and then my requests. I don't think. Ooh. So I think this is the
That
similar
Yeah, I think that's the same. I don't
experience.
see any
Yeah.
difference there.
What I did notice here is I don't know if this is a bug or not, but they changed the order of that by accident.
Or put it in a different spot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I
also
don't know
made
that I
this in the
enjoy that.
middle. It's probably just a bug.
Yeah.
Anything? Oh, no way. Did you just see what I saw?
Uh-uh.
Right
Oh,
here.
impersonate.
Right on the
Interesting.
portal. Because that definitely.
That was a thing you had to.
Oh,
They
interesting. That
must have
must be
added that
new.
recently though, because I remember, there's a lot
Wow.
of posts on the community about how to add
So
impersonate.
many. So
Yeah.
many.
And it wasn't necessarily that difficult. I built one real quick by
Yeah.
accident. I was trying to do something else, but that is nice to have it there.
That is very welcomed.
So check to
Um,
see if let's see the about and you like remember how they were all one widget and you couldn't
oh,
like
the
do yeah.
HRI profile, employee information, contacts,
Okay, that's nice
user
because oh
profile.
wait,
Oh, these two are combined.
and what about that? Okay, I was just wondering because that was so annoying before where
So
you had to
these 3 are combined.
and that bottom one isn't part like the bottom left, the personal contact. That's not part of it.
No, that's not. And I wonder if this is just instant. Oh, this doesn't have instance options. So yeah, this entire widget, I don't know why they did that, but these top
I don't
3 are
either.
all combined.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's yeah, it's all embedded, but it's just a weird way to do it, you know.
Yeah. All right. So let's switch to the back end, and we'll see if we can do some maybe to do configuration to see
We got
if
to configure a mega menu.
or a mega menu. Can I just type in
Yeah.
mega menu?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I
It
love
had
how
a
they
link.
call it. Yeah, I know they call it mega menu, but
That's what
so
they're
that's
called.
how
I
you
mean,
can.
from way back when, that's what they've always been called. It was a pretty hot thing to have a mega menu some years ago in the web dev environment.
Yeah. So in order to do it, we have to build a taxonomy. Okay, so I think we just need to build a taxonomy before
So does
diving
that?
into
So
that one.
is that automatic off the taxonomy then?
It sounds like it. So
Interesting.
let's dive into the taxonomy. Is there a taxonomy?
Oh,
What
look
do
at
we
that.
think
So
it is?
that's totally new, right? This whole
Yeah,
taxonomy
this.
philosophy, I guess.
So employee. So let's assume it's under employee. This is us. Like I could go to the read this, but let's just dig into it.
Who does that?
Yeah. So employee experience taxonomy. So there's an HR and IT. So let me just
So you
try to
can add
change this.
child. Well, you can add child topics there. Okay.
I just want to see if we're even in the right place, right? So my assumption is this will
Do you
change that.
remember that content delivery system way back when that was all built on taxonomy?
Yeah.
It was about the same time as WordPress started out, or it was a direct competitor of WordPress.
I don't
Oh,
remember.
I can't even think of the name of it now, but man, this brings back all that memory of taxonomy because no one's really used taxonomy in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the good thing is it looks like there's some manager for this, and then there's contributors. So you have this like content in a taxonomy that curates some experience. And there is an employee one. It is downloaded. You should clone it and make modifications.
Where do you clone it
Interesting.
at?
Probably manually. Oh, nope. It got a clone button.
So you can clone the entire thing. Interesting.
And then associate all existing and new to the cloned one. So let's clone one. It's interesting that they're choosing clone. So we're gonna name this Dorian and John's favorite taxonomy.
I don't know about favorite.
Yeah. And because normally they're like just utilize what ServiceNow has, right? But there are times on like portal-like experiences that it's better to clone. Record producer on these tables are not, oh, interesting. So we got another error, but that's okay. Okay, so we've cloned it. Did that do anything to our employee service center?
So how do you, maybe I missed the field. Is there a field on that taxonomy record that assigns it to the portal? Like,
yeah, that's a good question.
How does this one go to that?
So we clone it. Oh, it's supposed to be read-only, by the way. It was not read-only.
No,
so
it
that's
was
a bug.
not.
And then associate all existing to the new one, and then
Well, that's all the related. It. Oh, so I guess taxonomy. Oh, this only exists to that portal. So I guess there's not a reason to associate it. Seems a little short-sighted.
I think we're missing some. Let's configure related list, right? Let's see if there is some reference.
Well, if there isn't, I feel like it's short-sighted to where you couldn't have.
I see portals.
Oh, okay. That's okay. So, yeah, I was wondering because I'm like, well, how are you going to assign that to that and make sure it goes to just that?
Yeah.
Portal.
Because you could, and only one. That's good. I'm glad that they blocked that, right?
Oh, nice. So wait, how is it already? Like, how do I know that it's already assigned to that portal?
Oh, I don't think you know, but this one is, right? It's here.
Oh, because you have to deactivate that one first. That's why.
Yeah. So we're gonna remove this. And then, oh, I guess we can't. Let's just try that.
Yeah. You probably have to deactivate it and then.
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
Interesting.
So they've put some controls around that.
Yeah, yeah. And it's probably so that you could reactivate it and it'd be pretty easy.
I would assume so.
Interesting.
Like you cloned it and started doing all this stuff, and then you're like, oh man, I think I've really messed.
And this one, it just auto. Oh, let's go to this one. So now we should be able to add this text. What's happened? Let's see what happens if you refresh without any taxonomy. I think it's going to be blank.
I don't know. Is it going to break it?
Nope. So
so you lose you lose your menu. Yeah. So that's nice. I mean, so you know that.
Interesting.
Do you need to go back and actually? You still can't remove it.
That's so interesting. So I deactivated it, but let me try removing it now. Or let me just set it to active as false. Let's do that. Oh, open this record.
It's probably in global.
Oh, it's in employee experience.
Core.
Weird.
Oh, interesting.
I'm in core. I think it. Oh, that is in core. Yeah, that was weird. It's definitely some interesting things there. So now let's see if we can add it because it's the other one's inactive. Oh my gosh! So we can't even have a deactivated
So
one.
Now that it's false, can you remove it now?
Yeah, let's try deleting it.
Oh, I bet you don't delete that.
Yeah, we got it. We're good.
I was thinking it was the actual record of itself, but
Oh no, it was just this record. So now it'll let us.
there
Yay!
we go.
And
Oh, and it
so
changed your update or your scope, didn't it?
I think I was modifying it
Oh,
directly.
okay,
TX, just so that we know that we're in a different one.
sure.
So now that ITX. Cool. So we cloned it. Look at that.
Well, that's nice.
So let's see if we can just get one new thing kind of up. So it's interesting. The HR one has
Oh,
like
hey,
this
look, yeah,
topic-based navigation. I don't know
yeah,
what
and
that
there's
means.
there's the banner you can assign to it.
The banner,
That's
yep, the
that's
icon as
nice.
well.
Yep.
Here's these like child topics, which is interesting. Let's look at what the IT one says, because
So
that's the
wait,
only one
how
that
come?
shows.
Yeah, how come HR doesn't show?
It's probably because there is something. So under IT for IT, there's probably this content. So this one is here
Oh,
and
what else can
actually
you
active,
what else can you do through that if you hit new? What else can you do?
like a new content.
Well, so it says content type is catalog item, but I'm assuming content type gives you a number of
So you can
knowledge. Okay.
add,
Oh, and a quick link. So this is kind of like it's almost like
let's add a,
a combination of content delivery wrapped up in here too a bit.
yeah, and let's just add a quick link to see what this looks like. Yeah, because this looks like page service portal.
Fascinating.
We're just gonna see how quickly index. Oh, go clocks. Oh, index, cool. And you could add more information there. That's interesting. So we're gonna submit that one to see if we can get that to show up, and we're gonna add a knowledge one as well
Yeah, yeah.
to see if we could get knowledge. Show me a knowledge page. Cool. All right. So refresh this. And we go to IT for IT. All right, so we see our knowledge article here and our quick
Oh,
link.
so they combine knowledge and catalog together now, or are
And there's
combining it.
probably an image, right? Like you could, there was like a background and image. So there's probably a lot you can make this a lot prettier now. Because I remember quick links used to be super ugly. And if you click on an article, it shows up.
Oh, interesting though. Your breadcrumb is empty.
They only want you to go back. It looks like they're going away from once you're in an article,
You
you just
can
go back.
you can backtrack through like to the category and all that.
Because it
So
can
is
get
there
really deep.
yeah, is there not a I guess there's not a knowledge home?
Because the home is the home page of it. This is the knowledge home now.
Well, right, but you remember how you could if you went back through the breadcrumbs, you could kind of backtrack into that stuff.
Yeah, but there was no. So like if I went into here, like into the article, if I
Well,
went
right, but
back,
in
it
the
just goes
old
back to where you
version,
were.
right, in the
Oh
old
yeah, yeah, yeah,
version, the breadcrumb, you could work your way back if you wanted to like the
yeah,
knowledge home.
yeah. So let's see if we could try to activate HR, or just see what. Oh, actually, what is topic-based navigation? We should try that real quick. I think the navigation is gonna show like. Oh, I guess not. I don't know what that's gonna do.
You should turn it on for IT just since we have that one.
Well, that's what I tried doing, right?
Oh,
Oh,
I thought you did it on HR.
no, I did it on IT. Interesting. So I think it's on this page where these
That
topics are.
you get
You could
those
click on it.
topics. So
But
if you created another, where does that show up? That IT for IT.
so that one
And
shows up here under child topics.
So how come those other ones don't show?
Because they don't have any
Oh, they don't
content.
have anything. I gotcha.
So let's just add a quick content so that we could see stuff. Maybe not quick link. Let's do article knowledge. Do 4. So now if I refresh, and we go to browse all. Huh. Still, it should show up now, right? It's under ITX. Interesting. So don't know why that one's not showing up. I don't know if that's a bug or we're doing something wrong, but it looks like it's active. Verifying Microsoft Excel. We could add a topic.
Yeah.
But this doesn't seem right. Security.
No, you'd think, and you didn't have a choice for catalog item either. You only had knowledge and. Oh yeah, you only had.
I think we could do a catalog one.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't showing up in your drop down.
Yeah, let's do like, oh geez. Star security. Is there any endpoint security? Let's see if adding a catalog does it. Oh no, is it because I'm in the wrong scope doing that?
Well, why would it? I mean, it shouldn't allow you to do that while you're in the wrong scope. That'd be terrible.
Yeah. All right. So we added a subtopic. We added some.
Well, there's
there it is.
There we go.
This showed up. So it only shows up if you have a catalog in it. Interesting. I don't know if that's intentional or not. And so now we can see what that browse by that topic navigation is. So if we go to remove this, I think it just will show like this will be different. Okay. I don't know what I don't know what it does. Oh, privacy and security showed up. Okay, so I think that's the way I think about it, right? Is you need connected content for it to show up, and it needs to be, at least right now, has to have a catalog item.
I wonder if that's just something.
Or maybe it could be that this knowledge or this is like this record isn't global. Oh, that's not what I mean. I think it's because I selected a knowledge article that is maybe expired or something.
Or that it's not part of the taxonomy. Like, is there something on articles themselves that,
Let's see.
Like, I wonder if they're tightly wrapped with taxonomy or something.
That wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. I think it was because I selected an article that is like expired or something. There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just because I selected an article that was expired. But okay. So that's
neat. I mean, yeah, that's kind of neat that it it's kind of putting things together.
I wonder if, I mean, this would be really painful to constantly be updating. I'm hoping in the future they could just say add a knowledge base, right? Like imagine trying to do 100 of these.
So go into knowledge base to see if there's any knowledge compatible or any selection there. I wonder.
Yeah, because like that just seems like a nightmare. And I'll check here real quick to see.
So I thought I go down. Yeah, connected content. Quick links.
I mean, it just
wants you can do you can do campaigns too, huh? Wow.
This looks like some dynamic pages with like the quick links they're showing there and some videos.
Well, that's employee communications that you can apply directly there. So I think that comes from
But I think that's going to be
campaign.
painful for people. I think they're making the portal like very, you have to describe it. Like you have to, like you have to be very explicit on your articles you want to show. Because it's kind of like featured articles, right? Because it doesn't look like there's anything here. And I'll check related lists that dynamically do it. But you could probably add a business rule, right?
For when it gets added. And I think they're just being more deliberate, with how you associate stuff together now, instead of just kind of slapping everything in there. You have to be more deliberate on what you're exposing to who, right?
Yeah, it's just, that just is something to be aware of, right? Of like, that could take a long time, right?
Well, yeah, because now you got to do a list of it, and so it's
Yeah.
gonna be a bit.
And so they also mentioned to configure this one to include approvals, right? And so I think this is what you were referring to about the to-do filters.
Yeah, the to-do configuration.
It looks like there's some configuration.
If you go look at the to-do configuration, you can set up. Where did they not? Right there. Yeah. So stuff's already there, so approvals can be utilized. I don't remember how that's, because when I looked into it, the script includes that are behind the to-do. It just seems to me like they just look for all the active configuration records and then uses those to grab whatever you want. And I hadn't figured out how I say, well, I don't necessarily want all the to-do configurations. I only want this one or that one, because I wasn't sure if other portals could, that they could use it. But you also see, if you scroll back up on that page there, you'll see it says apply. Yeah, it says applies to ESC, but when you look at the XML, the value is 0. And so I was like, well, how does that, what's that?
Interesting.
And it comes on by default. So like if you create a new one, it shows ESC in there. So
if we show XML, when you applies to is empty on this one, but
right. But if you look at the other one, it says 0. Yeah.
XML.
And so I wasn't sure how that was working. Yeah. Because I wanted to change the filter there for this problem I had yesterday, but I didn't want to affect anything else that was using it, and so I did it a different way. But still, I would rather have been able to utilize these.
I wonder if you feel like it's like if it doesn't work or this isn't possible, you just create a new custom field, right? And then you can reference it.
Well, then you've got to do a lot of stuff behind the scenes with the script includes that are there.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't. Yeah. No. It's pretty. There's a lot of depth to how they're pulling those to-dos. So it could get a little tricky trying to break into it and go that route. I don't know.
Cool. Well, I think we did a great job.
Oh man.
I feel
like we just touched the top of that iceberg a little bit. And there's still a lot of stuff underneath that we could go entirely to cover other stuff we didn't cover this time. But no, this was fun. I lost you on
video, by the way. Just as an FYI.
Oh, did you?
That's okay.
You still got my audio?
Oh, I still got your audio.
Well, nobody wants to see my face anyways.
Yeah. But no, I think that was good. I mean, we migrated, right? We showed some of the things you're going to run into, right? You may have a blank page on the ESC. Yeah. You may want to rename it.
We showed what not to do by not following what to do first.
Yeah. The good thing is most of the pages were like named EC underscore instead of ESC. So they weren't overriding your old stuff, which is good. and they, essentially created a new theme and a new header.
Yeah.
They did use some of the ESC stuff, so there may be some, just look at that portal record essentially and make sure it looks the way you want it to. We also did some restricted caller access, so we had to go and modify those.
Yeah, and those are always good to review. And like I said, if depending on what you're doing, you can end up with a number of those records calling you problems. And so if you're not familiar with what to do with those caller records, I suggest you kind of read up on those, because while they're annoying, they're pretty powerful.
Yeah, yeah. And then we dove into the taxonomy and, configuring a taxonomy or applying things to the taxonomy. We found that only one taxonomy applies to a portal and how you can connect information to it. So
yeah. And I guess that's probably the new is it philosophy that ServiceNow is going forward with, as far as your kind of this combined approach with catalog and knowledge, is what it looks like is happening now.
Yeah, instead of because normally it'd be like content items on a catalog, it looks like they're trying to say, hey, you're creating a portal, just tell me what you want on that portal.
yeah let's just put it together here, and people can get it all at once.
Yeah, I think it makes admin's life easier.
Probably post setup.
Yeah. Totally.
That whole conversion piece, having to do one at a time, is going to be. I mean, obviously, you could probably do a script or something, but I think it's that way to really get you to really think about what you're exposing to your end users, versus just throwing up an entire portal or knowledge base, because a mature company is going to have a lot of articles, and maybe they don't want everything up there anymore.
Yeah. And so I think just in general, I think overall I'm pretty impressed, and I wanted to show John that we'd like to thank you all for viewing.
Aw, yeah.
Cool. And until next time, if you like this content, subscribe, hit us in the comments, and till we'll see you again.
Yep. Bye.